Debbie Stadtler, Editor-in-Chief of Provider Magazine, and I'm here today with LaShuan Bethea, Executive Director of the National Center for Assisted Living. Welcome. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, over the past year, NCAL has really been focused on building relationships with elected officials. So tell us more about this focus on advocacy.
Sure. It is very important that we make sure that any policymaker that is making decisions that impact the residents that we care for understand the unique dynamic of assisted living, which is very different from state to state. And so part of making sure that we're educating them is that we're inviting them into our community. We're helping them understand and see the residents that we're caring for and the amazing work that providers are doing all across the country.
Absolutely. Highlighting that work is so important.
Absolutely.
What resources does NCAL have to support this advocacy work?
So we have a regulatory resource center that has a variety of resource tools that will help providers not only understand what's happening across the country, but shape their advocacy plan so that when they're going in and they're talking to legislators, they can talk to them about, what's working, what's not working, but more importantly, about solutions, about how policymakers can work with providers to resolve or solve any challenges that they may see or that residents may be facing. Again, it is going to take a partnership between the private sector and the public sector to make sure that we can meet our resident needs. And the Regulatory Resource Center is a great tool for providers to be able to use to help them develop that advocacy plan.
I like that idea. We don't just want to say what the problems are. We want to come with solutions and ways that we can work together.
Absolutely. I'm a big believer that the individuals that are in the communities have the best solutions for how we're going to close those gaps and solve those problems.
Well, data plays such a role in this advocacy work. Tell us more about the long-term data cooperative and how that works for assisted living providers.
Absolutely. The long-term care data cooperative is an amazing resource that we're rolling out to assisted living providers. It is going to be the single most comprehensive source of data that is really going to help assisted living providers tell their story, which is extremely critical in making sure, again, that policymakers are not just using anecdotal data and information to make critical decisions that impact residents and providers, but they actually have evidence-based data that is based on the actual residents that are in our communities. It is a free tool. If you have an electronic health record, then it is actually not only free to providers, but it is effortless to providers because that electronic health record connects with the long-term care data cooperative system and it automatically pulls that data in. And more importantly, it actually gives the providers some feedback reports that allows them to look at their communities in comparison with similar communities. So it's a great resource, not only to help us tell our story, but also to help from a quality perspective. So we're really excited about it.
Well, in today's environment, data is so critical and important. And I love, you said the great words, free and very easy to use. Those are compelling. Well, what does the future hold for NCAL and for assisted living providers? Give us a quick look.
Okay, so I will tell you that assisted living is the fastest growing segment of long-term care. We know that there are a growing number of individuals that are relying and needing assisted living services. And we want to make sure that we're able to increase our access to those services. A couple of the barriers to the access is workforce. Probably no surprise to anyone that's hearing this, particularly in our rural areas, but really across the country. We have more workers than we had pre-pandemic, but we need even more workers because the need or demand for workers is even more than it was pre-pandemic. And so, again, assisted living is very popular. It is something that many residents across the country need. Affordability is also another area that we are definitely taking a look at. While we have a growing number of individuals that need assisted living, we also know that a proportion of those individuals do not have the resources to be able to afford to pay privately for assisted living. And that's where affordable assisted living comes in. We also have a tool that providers can use that would allow them to be able to explore feasibility of more affordable assisted living. But this is another one of those areas that a public-private partnership is going to be essential to make sure that we can have assisted living or access to assisted living for individuals that need a more affordable option.
Well, the future sounds bright for assisted living.
It is absolutely bright.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.